For today's video, I do want to speak about the future of Barcelona's right-back position. Out of all positions, I do think that one of the most covered positions is the right-back area, because today we have options like Kounde, Cancelo, Hector Fort, Alejandro Balde. If he was available, he could also play on the right-back position. All of these players look very comfortable on the right flank. But next season, I do believe that Deco is going to want to have many players play in their natural positions. Of course, you're going to be having your games here and there where we see players like Balde play on the right back position, but in general, the club is going to want to see more consistency on having players in their correct positions. So in the next season, I do assume that Cancelo will have continuity. There's going to be an agreement between Barcelona and Man City, and Cancelo most likely will be the ideal left back for Barcelona with Alejandro Balde as the second choice. You have a great mixture of great crossing from Cancelo and also carrying the ball into the final third by Alejandro Balde. So the left back position is set, and it says here, according to Sports, that Deco is counting on Cancelo for next season. He will have to negotiate with City to find a way of making it happen. The club is aware that they have to reinforce the right back position. At the moment, the only right back in the squad is Cancelo, who is owned by Manchester City. But like I've said, most likely Cancelo will be seeing the left back position and starting in that area because of how well he does. So it's going to be very exciting to see who are they going to be paired with on the left flank, because right now we don't know who Barcelona is going to be signing in terms of their next world-class left winger. We don't even know if João Felix is going to be having continuity. But going back to the right back position, Barcelona do have many choices, and for sure their set starter will be Jules Kounde, with Hector Fort battling to gain some minutes. And that's very exciting, because to hear that Hector Fort, and it says here according to Sports that Barcelona have started negotiating for the renewal contracts of Kubarsi, Marc Gui, and most importantly, Hector Fort. Hector Fort has serious options on being part of the Barcelona first team next season. The sporting staff trust his progression, and he has shown personality as a right back or a left back. However, we know how long these seasons are. Like, there are so many games that Barcelona have to play, and who knows, what if they increase the amount of matches for the Champions League next season? Also, we have to keep in mind that they're going to be increasing the amount of matches for the Champions League next season. I don't even know if the European Super League is going to be happening, but that's also going to be more games that Barcelona's going to have to play. We also have to keep in mind that within like a span of 24 hours, the fitness of the squad could change, because like 2 or 3 days ago, we were talking about how most of the players are healthy. But then after the match against Athletic Club, now all of a sudden, Barcelona is in an injury crisis. A club can go into an injury crisis like the next day. And so I feel like Barcelona are going to have to reinforce the right back position even more. Even yes, with Kounde and Hector Fort as options, Barcelona is going to be needing a third one, because look, we have to be ready. Who knows if Araujo and Kubarsi or Christensen get injured next season? We're going to have to use Kounde as a center back at some point. And that would also mean that we're going to be left with only one option in the right back position, which is going to be Hector Fort. And that is why I believe that Barcelona are making a decision right now on which right back they should be signing in the summer. And those two options that Barcelona have is Julian Araujo or Serginho Dest. And as of now, it does seem like Barcelona is opting for Julian Araujo to return to Barcelona and to let go of Serginho Dest officially. It says here that Julian Araujo will be the first signing this summer. Barcelona are very satisfied with his performances at Las Palmas and are counting on him for next season. Julian Araujo's future will depend on the next coach, but the idea of the sports management and Deco at Barcelona is that the defender, who will be 23 years old in August, will be part of the first team next season. The idea with Dest is to sell him. His salary is higher than Julian Araujo, both right backs on loan. PSV are also very happy with Dest's contribution to the team. In fact, the idea of PSV is to exercise the purchase option. So let me ask you guys this. Do you guys believe that this is the correct choice coming from Barcelona for them to say, we want Julian Araujo over Serginho Dest? Because I remember when Dest first arrived back in 2020, the whole idea was for him to become like the next Dani Alves, to replace Dani Alves in the future. Because after seeing a few mistakes happen here and there with Sergio Roberto taking over after Dani Alves left to Juventus, and then we moved on to Semedo, but then only for Semedo to be annihilated by Alphonso Davies, and then they had to sell him. We're like, okay, Sergio Roberto was not good enough. Semedo was below Barcelona's level. That is why Barcelona had their attention on Serginho Dest, because he was technical, he was fast, he was young, he had that flair in him, or as we can say, he had that dog in him. He was seen as one of the right backs for the future. But as always, when you have these high technical players eventually arrive at Barcelona, sometimes they just don't make it, because when you are at a club like Barcelona, it's always going to be difficult. And that is why Serginho Dest went through a very difficult time at Barcelona in his first 2 or 3 years. Also keep in mind that Barcelona were not in their best moments sportingly. So I would also say that in a sense, the sporting department also failed them. And from there, it went downhill. I remember there were so many games where Dest had to face Vinicius or like some world-class left winger, and Dest just got annihilated. He couldn't handle any type of pressure, any type of dribbles going against him, especially with Vinicius. And we're like, no, like this is not the way. If we want to win Clásicos, we need somebody in the right back position that can take on Vinicius successfully. And so it just turned out bad. And eventually Barcelona had to let go of Serginho Dest on loan to AC Milan. It still did not work. He was not a success at AC Milan. But eventually after that, Barcelona sent him on another loan to PSV, and that is where he made his name. That was the move where Serginho Dest finally found his form. The Dest that we see today is very much different to the one that we saw 3 to 4 years ago. He's much more involved in the attack. He scores a lot of goals. He provides a lot of assists. He has 1 goal and 5 assists so far this season. If you compare Serginho Dest and Julian Araujo from the attacking standpoint, you can see that Dest is superior. And so you may be wondering, why would Barcelona choose Julian? And I do believe that it's because of 2 reasons. Dest's salary is higher, of course, but I also do believe that Julian Araujo and his profile is much more needed at Barcelona, because Julian is much more of a defender than Serginho Dest, and that's very important for Barcelona. If you look at the defensive qualities between Julian Araujo and Serginho Dest, Dest just gets annihilated. He's better in successful tackles per 90, he's better in clearances per 90, headed clearances per 90, interceptions per 90, possession won in the final third per 90. He's better in every aspect from a defensive standpoint. If we also look here at this chart, you can see that Dest, yes, is superior in some other aspects of the game, like carrying the ball, expected assist, dual percentage, but there's also some things that Julian Araujo is better at, and most of those things have to do with defensive qualities. And here's what does get very interesting. Julian Araujo does carry a skill set. He may not be as good as Serginho Dest in the final third, but Julian Araujo carries one very important skill set that Barcelona need, and that is the crossing. This is the reason why Joao Cancelo is so highly rated at the club, is because he provides amazing sharp crosses into the box, because it sets up the strikers very well. It leads towards Lewandowski seeing more chances, or Joao Felix, or Rafinha, or Kounde, or anybody that's in the pitch. That is why Barcelona want to have continuity with Joao Cancelo. They want to have him for another season. Julian Araujo carries the exact same tendencies, because if you look at his cross success rate, he is much better than Serginho Dest. If we also look here at the cross success ratio and how much he has improved, he is really improving his crossing abilities ever since 2022. So we can say that Julian Araujo is a defensive right back with great crossing abilities, and that is perfect for FC Barcelona. I would also assume that probably Barcelona have been asking Garcia Pimienta, who is the coach of Las Palmas and coaching Julian Araujo currently, on how the player is from a mental standpoint. What has he improved on, and how has he matured as a player? Because Garcia Pimienta also coached Barcelona before through Barcelona Athletic, so I can see Garcia Pimienta probably helping Barcelona and basically saying, hey look, I think that one of the great players that Las Palmas have is Julian Araujo. He's doing an amazing job. I think that you guys should get him back. And I'm also pretty sure that Garcia Pimienta probably gave Julian some pointers on how to play, how to succeed at Barcelona, how to improve, and what Barcelona are going to be asking from you. I'm pretty sure that he's giving him so many pointers, and that is why Barcelona are saying we want Julian Araujo over Serginho Dest. And so in the end, I do assume that these are going to be our options for next season. Our right back options will be Kounde, first choice, Hector Fort, second choice, Julian Araujo, third choice. Again, all of these players are going to be having massive game time because we're going to be playing so many games next season. The season is so long. We don't know if everybody's going to be 100% healthy. We have seen it multiple times this season. I'm pretty sure that everybody will be getting their chances. As for the left back options, I do assume that Cancelo will be the main starter, Balde, second starter, with Hector Fort as the third choice. Hector Fort, I think, will be rotated through the right back position and the left back position. If he wants to see more game time, it's highly likely that he'll see it on the right back position more than on the left back position. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.